The heat is officially on as the upcoming national tour of Miss Saigon has announced its full cast, including Emily Bautista playing the crucial, demanding, and ultimately heartbreaking role of Kim. So how does a young performer like Bautista prepare to take on such a role? We thought hosting a conversation between her and two former Kims, Tony winner Lea Salonga and Tony nominee Eva Noblezada, would be a good start. The three women came together for an exclusive photo shoot and in-depth discussion about the challenges of playing Kim, how Miss Saigon continues to captivate audiences, and why its story is more important than ever.
Hi, I'm Lea Salonga.
And I'm Eva Noblezada.
And the two of us are actresses that have played Kim in Miss Saigon. I've gotten to play this role in the original productions in London and on Broadway.
And I've had the honor of doing the revival in London and also the revival on Broadway.
And we're about to introduce to you someone very special. She is going to be playing the role of Kim on the national tour of Miss Saigon.
We'd like to warmly welcome our lovely friend, Emily Bautista.
Given that the show had already been over 20-something years old when each of you got into it, when were you each aware of it?
I just remember the first time, like, in my teens that I listened to Miss Saigon, I picked it back up again. I had a 25, 30-minute bus ride to school, and I would sit there and put my headphones on and listen to the whole soundtrack. And I actually want to say it was my junior or sophomore year of high school, so you had done it in London, and I had your version, so I just played them back to back. I would have friends that would be like, "Are you crying right now?" And I'd be like, "No, I'm fine." But you know, I would sit there and listen, and I wasn't on a school bus. I was in Vietnam. I was listening to. I think the music so beautifully captures the world.
Those orchestrations, those built-in
that
orchestration
too. Is just. It's so inspirational and really does transport you to a whole new world.
Yeah. It's a great role to play because it's rangy and nuts, but it's
that beast of a show.
Yeah, I mean, when it's sung technically correctly, then you'll know you'll be able to do it the next day.
Yeah.
But that also takes voice lessons, and if you're trained well, then you have nothing to worry about vocally. No one really understands it unless you've done it. Yeah. So I think the only person that knows what I have been through with that show is this other one, because of everything that she has had to experience.
I will say I couldn't really see how big of an impact the show made until I became comfortable in my own Kim. And that day that happened, it's almost like an out-of-body experience where you're performing I Give My Life and you look out to absolute darkness, but you can hear sniffles. In glimpses of light, you see people with their hands on their face just completely mesmerized by what's going on. The magic of that, the magic of Kim, I think, is what I love. I love knowing that the delicacy of the story is you have an audience of thousands of people in your hand every single night. These young Asian girls or these young girls of color that were mixed like me come in, seeing them at stage door with tears in their eyes, and they go, "I've always wanted you to do Kim." And I was like, "Me too." we're the same. Yeah. Or I always wanted to sing, and I was like, "You will. You do sing."
It's so interesting going to the stage door. You kind of forget that until you see a little girl that's like, this is so cool. I remember my mom coming, I think it was to Les Mis, and there was a little girl just in her coat and stuff, and my mom started crying. She was like, "That was you. Like, that was you," and I had you to look up to, and I mean, that was just incredible because, you know, there weren't many.
Part of the thing that makes this character really stand out is that among all of these women, dead in the eyes, scantily dressed, and trying to get out, here's this angel in the white dress, singing with purity and just speaking her heart, and how all of these men are looking at her with this lascivious look. And you need to be uncomfortable in your seat watching this happening. And as an audience member, you have to want to save her.
Yeah.
It has to hit you
in the gut.
In the gut. You have to get punched in the face by the things that you see, because that sets you up for everything else that happens later. Because if you see just that and walk out, then you miss out on what this journey is going to be.
I'm actually really excited for people to see Lawrence Connor's production, the one that we did, and the one that's going to go on the tour, because I think it's organic, it's raw, it gives you the taste of romance and passion that you want to see in Saigon, but also the dirty, scummy, and I think now it's perfect time in what's happening right now with current events to be truthful, to be as honest as we can, and yeah, I'm excited for people to see it. I don't know about you, but
Same. I think it's very timely.
Yeah.
It shows you there is love in the most broken of places, and it really goes to prove that.
Yeah.
But it's also timeless, I think. Like it was just as impactful when you did it.
The great thing about it being staged at the time it was originally staged, but because it was still so fresh in people's minds, it was something that everybody felt so strongly about, that this needs to be seen. The world needs to see something like this. One, it's majestic in scope.
Yeah.
And at the time, the big bombastic British musicals were the thing, with Les Mis and The Turntable and Phantom and The Boat and Cats in the Junkyard, and now here comes A Helicopter in Miss Saigon. And I think people were expecting that it would be such a huge production with production value, but I don't think what people expected was the humanness and the humanity and the intimacy in so much of what was happening. Helicopter went.
And the helicopter.
Oh my gosh. I just remember when we moved over to the theater.
Oh my God, that was magical.
Just like, it was weird. I didn't expect it. Just like a couple
We
coming.
were all crying.
Yeah, you're just like, that's the world.
Yeah.
Not that the helicopter is what Saigon is, but it transports you there. And because we saw it in the documentaries, people hanging off of it and screaming out.
And just trying to get out because they knew what was going to happen next.
Just that image brings up all the emotions and all the, it's crazy.
I think that's my favorite scene.
I think that's why people come back. You get the story through the music.
Yeah, but people get obsessed.
Yeah.
There are different entry points into the show. If you knew Les Mis, then it would be your kind of your doorway into Miss Saigon. And the fans of the show are obsessed with it. They're obsessed with the characters, they're obsessed with the story. And the thing about art is that it's just subjective in nature. Anyway, you want people to be touched by this, and because people were touched by it back in the late 80s, early 90s, and when the revival came out, there were people that would just go online and would not be able to control themselves in expressing their feelings for the show. And if there's anything that tells me, it's that how timeless it is, how timely it is, and how ultimately it's the audiences that'll keep coming. And if you get them, then you're golden.